Hello folks and welcome to Paddock Pass, your post-race edition for the 2019 Belgian Grand Prix. And we stand here with Ferrari, finally a race winner this year, and of course it was Charles Leclerc who took the checkered flag. As if it could ever be anybody else in the story of this year. He had looked so good, so fast all weekend, took pole position and duly turned it into a win, but he had to fight for it. Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton looked rapid fast, particularly in that middle sector and in the dying laps of the race, cutting down 1.5 seconds per lap in that middle sector alone. Had there been one more lap, we might have been looking at another Hamilton win. As it is, Leclerc held on, and there was always a feeling that he would. Always a feeling today that it was just meant to be, that everything would align for him. After the tragic news last night of the death of one of Charles' childhood friends and rivals, a kid with a bright future ahead of him, Antoine Hubert, the reigning GP3 champion, cut down in his prime in a horrible accident in the F2 race. It changed the dynamic of the weekend. It changed the feel of the Grand Prix today, one of celebration of Antoine, everybody racing for him and with him in their minds and in their hearts. It was not a day of joyous celebration. It was not the day that Charles Leclerc would have wanted to take his first win, but he took it, and he took it for his friend. Do you know the word kismet?
No.
It's an ancient word. It means fate or destiny, something that's written in the stars.
Oh. Yeah, I understand where you want to end up. It's true. I mean, at the end, 2 years ago in Baku, I couldn't think I had this strength to end the race the way it ends up after losing my father. Obviously, yesterday, this is a little bit of a different situation because obviously Antoine, we lost him on a track which we had to race on today, so it was very, very difficult. I remember with Antoine, we started in karting in 2005 all together with Esteban and Pierre, and we did our first race in Manicourt all together. Antoine won, actually, and these are amazing memories. So yeah, it's a very sad day. I can't enjoy as much as I would like this first victory, but yeah, I had Antoine in my thoughts the whole race, and I'm satisfied to win on a day like this, to remember him the way he deserves.
Man, you had to fight for it too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the last laps weren't easy, and in the car, in the mirrors, I could see Lewis coming closer and closer. So I put my head down and tried to focus on the work I had to do in the car. And yeah, by one lap we got it, but one lap more, I don't think we could have stayed in front.
Oh boy, one more lap, and you just might have had it.
Maybe. It's bloody close, isn't it? Honestly, I think would need probably a couple of laps, probably maybe one more lap, but I think his tyres were starting to step off just a little bit stronger than mine, and but yeah, he did a great job, so congratulations to him.
Do you think that Vettel helped him a little bit with holding you up as long as you can, and are these things in your mind that maybe, or no?
No, what's done is done. I had a good race. I'm really happy with the result, that I managed to move forward, to progress. I crashed yesterday, and to come away with the second, I'm really grateful for it. Charles did a great job. Of course, there were small things that happened through the weekend. You would think maybe if P1 was a bit smoother, if P3 was smoother, maybe you would have got that second place at the start. Maybe if I was second into turn 5, then I could have kept up with him and we would have had a race. But all these different things just made it a little bit harder. But that's racing.
Valtteri, quite the race for you guys today, and coming on incredibly strong at the end for the podium.
Yeah, it was a little bit uneventful, honestly. Not that many things happening, not that many opportunities, but if there was, I think we took it strategy-wise. We did the right calls, and that's why we got Sebastian, so that was good. And towards the end of the race, from my side, there was nothing really any more possible, so we decided to save quite a lot of the engine and gearbox and everything, so cruised easily home.
When Seb pitted early, was there any decision making at the team, any conversation about splitting yours and Lewis's strategies as Ferrari had done with their drivers?
Our tyres were feeling good at that point still, so we thought why not to go longer, and because we knew, for sure the medium will last longer, but it's not a massive difference to the soft. So, I think definitely we made the right call, and it was all about preparation and communication.
So that's your top three: Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. It was Sebastian Vettel who came home fourth today. He'd never quite had the pace of his teammates all the way through the weekend, and indeed struggled again today. The team pitting him early, I think, trying to dupe Mercedes into either splitting their strategies or aping that strategy and bringing one of their or both of their drivers in. Ultimately it didn't work out either for Seb or for Ferrari with that, if that's what they intended to do. Alex Albon came home fifth on his first race for Red Bull Racing, showed some beautiful racecraft all the way through the day. I really thought he looked great out there today. Smooth and aggressive, but not in an overly aggressive way, if you know what I mean. He was just purposeful. Great drive brought him home in fifth. Sergio Perez was sixth, full Racing Point. Then it was Kvyat seventh, Hulkenberg in eighth, Gasly ninth, and Lance Stroll bringing it home in 10th. Lando Norris had a great race, could have brought it home P5, but ultimately an engine issue saw him retire with exactly a lap to go as he crossed the start-finish line. And Max Verstappen ended on lap 1. Much to the disappointment of all of the Belgian and Dutch fans here, decked out in orange, at Eau Rouge after contact with Kimi Raikkonen at turn 1. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, possibly. Did Max stick his nose where it didn't belong? Did Kimi cut the line too tight? Yeah, a little bit of a 50-50. We're just going to hear from the top three, though, today, because the race was really one that I think a lot of drivers just wanted to get out of the way. I interviewed Sir Jackie Stewart, and he told me about the 1970 Italian Grand Prix when they'd lost Jochen Rindt, and he said he was crying so hard that when he put his helmet on and went out to drive, he could taste the salt on his face, and he stopped crying and put in the fastest lap he'd ever done at Monza, came into the pits, took off his helmet and burst into tears again. There's something about racing drivers that, and I still can't comprehend it quite, that allows them to get in and close that visor and put their foot down and just drive through pain. And it was a pain that a lot of people in this paddock and that paddock down there in Formula 2, which is an incredibly tight family, I know it well from my days in GP2, who are hurting this weekend. Correa and Hubert, two drivers involved in that accident yesterday. Hubert, sadly, we know, did not make it through. Correa in hospital with injuries to his feet, legs, and to his back, and we wish him a speedy recovery. But we lost a great racer and a great guy on Saturday night. He won the GP3 title last year, one of many incredible accomplishments in his career. It was the last year of the GP3 championship, and so Antoine Hubert will be forever GP3 champion. He raced alongside and started alongside, as we've already heard, Charles Leclerc, Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, and all of the drivers of that generation, like the Alex Albons and the George Russells, who was George's teammate in GP3, were just waiting. It was just a matter of time until Antoine got up here to F1 and they could carry on fighting like they always had. It just seemed like a matter of time. It seemed like that was his destiny. But it wasn't. The dice rolled and his number came up. And that's sometimes just the way it is in this sport and in this game. And you know, Lewis summed it up incredibly well, and we're going to hear from Lewis in a minute. He summed it up on social media that this sport, this game that they play, is dangerous. It says it on the back of all of our tickets, and we take it for granted. Motorsport is dangerous. Perhaps that is in part why they are the heroes that we make them, why we put them on a pedestal, why we raise them up, why we stellify them, why we watch and in bewilderment and joy and raptures at them, the fact they are able to do something that we can't, the fact that they risk everything for the rewards and to just have fun. But that's what they do. They're racers. They're not like us. It's what sets them apart. Antoine was a hell of a racer. And although his passing has shaken this sport and rocked it, and his passing leaves a gap and an unfulfilled potential, the spirit that drove him to be a racer is what drives every racer, and it's why we keep racing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know Antoine, so, but it really hit home, you know, because when we do the same thing, when you've been in the car, when you know what it's like, you know what, when it's, you know, just this, the same day I had the crash, and I remember seeing some fans kind of laughing and waving in the fan, like, it's dangerous what we do, you know, and so it really, really hit home then on top of that afterwards, and I didn't really sleep a lot last night. I don't know why I couldn't sleep, but it was just a really sad day, I think, for everyone. Seeing his parents this morning, it's very, very hard to even believe he's gone. But it just shows that we've got to continue to do work. GP2 or Formula 2 the cars needs to be even safer. Yeah. But today we all wore a sticker for him today, and he was with us in spirit, and I kind of naturally tried to win the race with him in mind, but still I think I did him proud, hopefully, with the race I did.
Hey Nico, not the easiest of days for the team. How difficult was it out there for you?
Yeah, I mean, it helps when you step in the car, you know, visor down. Obviously, it's racing head on, and the adrenaline kicks in, so you forget everything else around you. But yeah, certainly not an easy yesterday, an easy morning. But yeah, was happy to go racing.
I feel good that this race is over. I think this morning didn't really know how I felt about being here. I didn't really want to be here. I think I can probably speak for most of us. But yeah, strangely enough, I think competing today was the best way we could probably show our respect. So it's weird. It's been really strange, but yeah, I'm glad it's over, and we can move on now.
I think no one of us wants to be here today. It's been such a sad day for our community, for our family. All what we can do is to give this race to Antoine, because it's the very least that he deserves, and his family, his close friends. But yeah, very, very sad day.
Of course, I think everyone, especially us rookies, we know Antoine very well. Yeah, it's one of them things you never really think it's going to happen to you, never mind someone else. And yeah, it's been a very stressful 24 hours, to be honest. I think no one's had a great even focus really coming into the weekend. This morning it felt very strange, and yeah, I mean, it's crazy really. It's just one of those things.
After the horrible news from last night, how important was it to be able to get in, close the visor, and go racing?
Yes, it was very tough, to be honest. We forget how dangerous this sport can be, and it was a reminder, and I was very sorry to hear. I didn't know Antoine personally, but it's horrible when these things happen, and of course I asked myself many questions last night, but luckily this morning I just managed to, you know, focus fully on race.
You know, difficult day for everybody, you know, absolutely devastating news, and you know, it was definitely a tough evening. You know, I can't imagine what his family are going through, and Antoine was a really great guy, so you know, I hope we all did him proud today.
I must say it was really difficult because, like, of course, it was in my mind until going in the car and putting the helmet on, and yeah, just can't believe it. So I've grown up with this guy. We've raced in karting with Charles, with Antoine since 2005. Then we lived in the same flat for 5 years. We went to the same school. We're in the same classroom, with a private lesson with the federation, and I've just known these guys since so long. We shared so many moments on track and off track, especially. That, yeah, honestly, I still can't believe it. So I just need to go back home and just, yeah, take some time for me. I've planned already to see all my friends and all his friends tomorrow back at home, and so we can be reunited all together and just remember all the great times we had with him.
The death of the 22-year-old Antoine Hubert robs the motorsport world of a special driver and robs his family and friends of a wonderful and infectious personality. He will be forever missed. Antoine was those rarest of characters, fun-loving and yet also fiercely professional, relaxed and yet utterly determined. He was widely regarded as the fourth musketeer in a group of upcoming young stars, comprising Charles Leclerc, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, as they all climbed the racing ladder. The other three graduated to Formula One, and Hubert had demonstrated that it appeared only a matter of time before he was ready to join them. He died chasing a dream that was born at a young age. Antoine's father had been an enthusiastic rally driver. Indeed, Antoine's first go-kart was bought for him when he was just 3. As he grew up, success followed in all forms of motorsport. In karting, taking on the likes of Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, to cars, where in his teenage years he collected the French Formula 4 championship and race wins in European Formula 3. His breakthrough came in 2018 in GP3, when he stormed to the title. He'd already attracted the attention of Renault, who had signed him to their young driver academy. In his rookie season in Formula 2, he had already won twice, in Monaco and, to his immense joy, on home soil in France. Antoine was happiest at a racetrack and with his family. His death has devastated the entire motorsport community. It robs the world of a humble, vibrant, intelligent and passionate 22-year-old who can never be replaced. He will be deeply missed.